Hey, what's up, guys? GW coming to you live. Hey, yeah, I got hit with some crap going around. Apparently, every year this time, you get all these viruses and all this garbage coming out of the woodwork, and I've been fighting it off. In fact, I was sick Saturday, and I tried actually going to work yesterday, and guys, it didn't go too good. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That did not go too well at all. So I've been just chilling at home. Like I said, I went to work yesterday and that didn't go good. Um, but anyways, I just watched a movie that you guys, if you're a gore hound, you guys would love this crap. It's an out of print movie. I don't have the case up here, but you're gonna have to bear with me. It was a German splatter film called Die kombrutale duell. Now you guys can check that out on the internet. Basically, I popped it in thinking I was going to go to sleep watching this thing. And I watched this thing, and oh my good God. German splatter films aren't like anything else you guys would ever see. there's all kinds of gore in this film. There's no even way to even structure this thing. But if you're a gore hound and you want to see what about $150 in props and $9,000 in fake blood and bodies will get you, watch this film. I can't even tell you the story. Basically, I can tell you there's two warring factions, mafia guys, German mafia guys going at it. And this film in the first 5 minutes goes from oh my God, this is violent to really ridiculous if you throw reality right out the window, but you just hang on for the ride. Um, it's a fun watch. I don't recommend it to anybody, but I know that's going to make people check it out, so go check it out. But yeah, this time of year where you got the flu and everything going on, and it sucks. I'm sitting at home, slept the better part of the day this morning. But you're tired when you just want to go to sleep. It makes sense to go to sleep. You guys, you know that. So anyway, I was watching on YouTube this clip. It's the unforgettable 80s horrors, 20 movies that kept me up at night. And I'm just watching it, and I'm about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes in. And they're showing a clip from Creepshow, that George Romero 1985 Stephen King deal. And I started thinking, when people make these anthology stories, right? You can make some of them into a full length horror movie. You really could. You just like the I think it's the story Something to Tide You Over. You can make a whole movie about that, about Ted Danson's character and Leslie Nielsen's character. They grew up, and one stole the other one's wife or girlfriend. And this goes on for a while, culminating into the story which is seen on Creepshow. And of course, Ted Danson's character and his girlfriend come back from the dead and, take on Leslie Nielsen in a very, very cool way. Also, the crate would be another one, I think. If you showed the origin of the crate and how Julia Horlicks picked up this creature, kept him in a box, maybe the creature went on a tear, before. It's just a fun thing to think about when you watch some of this stuff is the origin stories about these things. We can go on forever and ever about that, but, So, there's that. I thought that was an interesting point because if you watch these, you can actually, make up in your head and flesh them out, as full length movies, which I thought was pretty cool. Night Court premiered last night. I love Melissa Rauch and I love the whole cast. In fact, I used to love that show when Harry Dean Anderson and Richard Mole, Marshall Warfield, and John Larroquette were all in it. Marky Post. I love that show growing up, and I tell people I like the reboot, and they're fans of the original, and they look at me like I'm an alien. I guess Night Court was the greatest sitcom to me of all time. You know, and you had characters, and you know what you had in that show? You had storylines for the main people, but you also had storylines for the people that come through Night Court. You know, I mean Brett Spiner, who Star Trek fame, he played a recurring character. They were always dirt poor and everything, and that character was great. Not to mention Michael Richards was on that show. He played the Invisible Man. Well, he was an inmate, thought he was invisible. Very, very hilariously comic stuff. Michael J. Fox was on that show pre 1984. So, I mean, it's pretty neat. Now, the end episode was goofy. It ended open ended. A few storylines were wrapped up, but yeah, it was crazy. And it was a blast last season to see Marsha Warfield on there. I always liked her. Even when she was in the 80s, she did stand up comedy, you guys. Bet you guys didn't even know that. And she played the hard as nails bailiff Roz. Roz Russell. You didn't mess with her. But yeah, I think it's a good continuation. I actually like the whole concept. Like I said, Night Court has a special place in my heart for being one of the funniest, silliest, 80s, cheesiest, greatest sitcoms of all time. So, anyways, there's that. Terrifier 3 is supposed to drop before Christmas, which will make it great because if you go to some boring Christmas party, you guys, you have to spend there when you get home. You can click on the TV, put the kids to bed, and watch Art the Clown just maim everybody. And I think it's cool. I think it's cool that you release like a Christmas horror film. Like if it's snowing in the movie and it's snowing right now, I think that's cool. Adds a little bit of a unique twist, you know what I'm saying? So, and then Netflix is catching a lot of hell, guys, for the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. Apparently, and I'm glad that I didn't watch it because apparently everybody that tuned in, the majority of them had streaming issues and buffering issues and whatnot. And my thought was, Netflix made this deal for this fight, months ago? That gave them all kinds of time to get their equipment ready to go. And they know how many subscribers they got. It doesn't take a genius to figure out they should have, got the servers ready or whatever, or they should have enhanced them for all the traffic because, any boxing match, I don't care who it is, it's going to draw a lot of people. And especially people on Netflix that don't have to pay $50, $70, $80, $90, $100 to watch that fight. But there's actually a couple of people that are suing Netflix now because they claim that their service was being disrupted. Well, if you log on to watch a movie that's being brought to you by cable, Netflix, Hulu, whatever, and it's interrupted, yes, it's their fault. So I don't blame these guys for trying to, sue Netflix because the people ultimately picked that and they should have been ready to handle that. The other thing I'm reading about the fight is it was scripted. And here's the thing, that might hold water for some people. But how are you going to approach Mike Tyson and say, look, I'm going to give you X amount of money not to fight to the best of your ability? People are going to notice that. People are going to notice that you're not giving 110%, and then they're going to accuse you of cheating. And then what's your defense? I'm sticking to the script. I don't buy that. The other weird thing about the fight was Rosie Perez was a ring announcer. I thought Rosie Perez fell off the face of the earth after White Men Can't Jump. That was interesting to me. So a lot of problems with the Mike Tyson fight, but they did the one cool thing that Netflix did is put the replay on. Now, I haven't even tried to attempt to watch it because who knows? Maybe the same buffering streaming thing will happen then. I don't know. But it just goes to show you that, and then Netflix says they're going to acquire football games. Well, here's the other coin flip, guys, is that if Netflix drops the ball on this football, see, they got a couple of things coming up. They got Monday Night Raw's moving to Netflix. Okay. You got NFL football. Now, what happens in a year down the road? They want to show the Olympics or something else, right? You're going to have all these servers running to keep your customers satisfied. If you drop the ball on football, you're going to have people that are going to be up in arms, and it's not going to go good for Netflix as a company. Because I know people that, football is more than a game. It's a tradition. Even high school football up here where I live, there is people that live and die by the football season. Okay? Now, if you broadcast a game that they're tuning into, they're going to get militant. And they're going to call you, and they're going to complain, and then they're going to drop service. And then you're going to say, well, I'll do this. They're going to say no. There's some things people in this world hold very sacred. Football, as unusual as it sounds, is one of them, especially in, different places. So Netflix better get their crap together if they're going to stream different things. Because if they don't, and it comes down to where you drop the ball, and Netflix is going to be a shell of a company, and they're going to be laying off. And I hope somebody, addresses this streaming issue, So there's that. That just basically was the big story since the fight happened, since I announced it. I told you guys it was going to happen. I didn't watch it. The thing went way past midnight. So there's that. Couple of the people that watch my channel have talked to me about that monetization thing, and I keep telling everybody, it was never about the money. I don't care. You can give me 50 grand to do what I do, and you can give me pointers and advice, but the bottom line, I was talking to Casey yesterday, and I said, the bottom line is that every time I come on here, every time you guys do a YouTube video and post it, you guys have creative control over it. You guys can basically do what you want. Like if right now, I don't have the energy because I'm sicker than a dog, but if I wanted to bust out in a Dirty Dancing or do a wave, that's my choice. What I don't like is coming on here and doing a review the way I want to do and be told and suggested that I have to do it a different way to make money, because that's just, to me, is really stupid. I always believe, people are going to watch you regardless of what you do. If they're interested in your topics, they're going to listen to you. And I've had lots of people come up to me and tell me, you know what, dude, your videos are like podcasts. Okay, I don't know how to do a podcast, but I understand that sometimes I get on a rant and you guys listen to me, and I really appreciate that. And that's cool. But I will not be told and guided on what to do, because I'm not in this for the money. I'm not. I'm here to just, get on here, give you guys a couple of horror video reviews or talk about something for 15, 20 minutes, and then I'm out. It was never about being rich, because I was talking to Casey and I said, even if I got 50 grand or $1,000, whatever, what you started with drastically changes. And if it drastically changes, it moves away from what you intended to do in the first place, so far so that it's unrecognizable. And then people start going, well, hey, Greg, you got too big for your core audience. And that's the thing I don't want. I started this because everybody knew me as Greg the movie guy. Everybody knew I watched everything under the sun. I'd get up at 3 in the morning and I'd watch a new Blu-ray that I picked up, like that Friday, and I'd get up Saturday, watch it 3 o'clock in the morning, and I got that urge to go do it. And then people would ask me what I think, and they'd compare it with what people, would see on the movie reviews. And I was never going to even do this. But my man Justin Mays, my man said, look, people want to hear what you have to say. So I sent him a video of me doing A Quiet Place, and you guys can watch that review. It's the worst one ever. I was ill prepared, but I didn't do a double take. I didn't chop it, and I didn't, tamper with it or make it better in any which way. I did it, and I sent it to him. I said, dude, this sucks. He goes, dude, it don't suck. I said, yeah, it does, Jay, because I'm all over the board with this. He goes, dude, you put it out there, man. I watched it, and it makes me want to watch the movie. Now, regardless of what he said that to make me feel good or if he really meant it, because later on I found out he really meant it, I started doing it. And the more I found out, the more reviews I do for a film, the, better I got. And the more people listen to me. And my only regret on this channel is that sometimes I don't get to say shout outs enough. I got my man Seth Kern. I got my man, I got my man Jay. I got Becca Lowe's. I got Casey. I got Emily. I got, Robert Flick. I got all these people that I work with in conjunction, work together with. That, that I have become friends with. Sam Lurch, he's another good guy. And these people, they go to work, they, work 9 to 5, sometimes 9 to 7 at night, and they do all these case file stuff, right? Whatever. But they get on here and they watch me, and then they come in here and they say, hey, Greg, thank you for the shout out. Because their lives are ordinary just like mine. And on some level, I like to appreciate people that are cool with me. And that's a lost art if you ask me. Look at the way the world changed from the 1980s. 1980s, you walk outside your front door, you didn't even have to lock your door, You just walked outside and you say, hey, Mrs. Johnson, how are you? And Miss Johnson would say, how are you? How's everything? Okay. Let your door open all day, go out all night, no one mess with your stuff, because everybody was cool. And then something happened. And people are on the defensive about other people, And you don't see that, that courtesy and that respect. You don't see it no more. And I was always brought up, and I was talking to Eric the other day, and I said, you know what, dude? It don't matter where you are. It don't matter what you got. It don't matter if you're hearing impaired or visually impaired or any kind of ailments. It don't matter. The only thing that matters is I'm cool with you because you're cool with me. And I sat back and I heard myself say that, and I've been saying that for a long time. And it really hit me that's one of the reasons I'm so cool. I got a boss. Well, I call him Captain. I mentioned him before. I cut promos for him, my man Mitch. And Mitch is a good dude, and I learned a lot from him. And sometimes, Mitch is all in a panic, and I can't say, hey, man, thank you. I try to slip it in there, occasionally. Sometimes when people are nice to me, I feel like I should give them the world because they're going out of their way for me. And I know in this day and age, it's like if Rob Flick right now, right, if he bought me a coffee, I film like I owe him, And he would say no. But I was brought up to where that's something that I want to do. If you do me a favor, I want to return it tenfold. And I've always been like that. And now y'all getting to know the real me, not just the guy that comes on here and talks about slasher movies. Um, but it's a trip, and you got Thanksgiving coming up, and we've had a lot of hardship in our family. My dad was over the other day. We did a lot of work, and he got done and he left, and I said, "Hey, thanks, Dad." And I went in the house, and somehow me saying that meant the world to me, but it was just an everyday thing for him, you know? And that's what people don't understand, man. Everybody takes stuff for granted. I do it too. And it's like my wife, me and my wife had an argument. And you know what it was about. When you're married, you'll have tons of arguments, but there's a point where, you feel apologetic and you look at her and you've seen her a million times, right? But you look at her and you just say, "You know what? I love you." And it means more to you at that moment than it does to her. And I don't know. Anyway, I didn't mean to get on a rant like that. I just, But yeah, Die kombrutale duell. That's the name of that German movie. Unearthed Films put it out. It's out of print, but it was one of the most violent, goofiest, over the top, gory, whatever you want to call it. You know, it was fun though, but there was no reality, and it's so far beyond reality. It's like one of these guys, right, gets shot in the brain. His brain don't work, so the other guy's like, "Well, come on out, put it in his body." I mean, that's what you're dealing with right now. And more red paint than any Kmart or warehouse, not warehouse, Lowe's or Home Depot could ever carry. So German splatter films, they mean well, but they're filmed on a budget, but they're entertaining as hell. Uh, so yeah, that's my review of that. And like I said, I actually was up the whole time. I just couldn't sleep, but I've been laying down. I don't have the coffin one. There's three versions of this garbage. There's the stomach one, which I caught, and it makes your body ache, right? And then you got the head cold, where you feel like you got two corks up your nose and you're stuffed up, and your head's about 10 times bigger than King Kong's. And then you got the one where you're coughing, and it's almost like a bronchitis. And I'm glad I got this one. I mean, this is a little minor. So I've been taking Advil. I'm going to take some more, but felt well enough to just drop you a line. And, again, I always tell people, every one of my subscribers, and I have 50 of them, last I counted, you are all like family, because everything I do, whether it be talk about a movie, give you a shout out, y'all like family. Because without you guys, this channel, my time, it wouldn't exist, And that's one of the main reasons that I would not take $1 for what I do. You cannot put a price on family. You can't do it. I'd rather keep the 50 plus subscribers that I got than charge somebody $10 to tell them about a movie that somebody else gonna do. I'm not doing that. And when I looked on this woman's page who claimed to be a monetizer, YouTube influencer, or whatever the term is nowadays, it didn't impress me. And you know what? And I'm speaking to this influencer right now. This, monetizer, whoever she is, whatever you want to call yourself. I'm telling you right now. When I'm in my channel and I'm doing this, I'm in full control. I've been doing this for a couple years. Never had anybody complain about my format. Never had anybody, criticize what I do. Even when I'm goofy, people run with it. I have a select group of friends that watch my channel and family, and there's never been a problem. And if I'm a hit with those people, there really isn't any need for me to do anything different. You know? And believe me, I have plans for this channel. I have some interviews I like to do that I'm working on. I have some other things going on. Hopefully, everything kind of comes together. You're going to be seeing some different stuff out of the movie reviews. So, but like I said, I just don't feel all that great, and I figured I'd give y'all a heads up on what's going on, because I always do that. I'm going to go get some Propel or something, get my electrolytes up, because like I said, I feel like garbage. But it's basically about it. But yeah, check that movie out if you're a gorehound. Nothing really else going on that I know. So, peace.